Boy, what a great weather pattern to close out the month of August and start the month of September. Thanks for joining me. This is Bill Steffen. We're talking sunshine for your Sunday and Monday and Tuesday. And our next chance of rain comes Wednesday afternoon. So you can kind of plan on that. That looks pretty certain that we'll see some rain here sometime starting Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening, and lasting into Thursday. It's a pretty significant cold front arrives then. Take a look at this. This is the severe storm reports all across the country for Saturday, and there was exactly one severe weather report. It was at Hovey, Texas. They had a wind gust there to 58 miles an hour, and that is the bare minimum for a severe thunderstorm is 58 miles an hour. That's the threshold. So really very quiet weather across the United States. There are some thunderstorms out there in a few spots. We'll look at those in a little bit, but very quiet pattern across the United States. And in fact, much of the world is pretty quiet at this time. Okay, let's take a look at the severe weather outlook map. There is no red, no orange, no yellow, no dark green, just light green. Light green is where there could be a thunder shower, but not severe. And you can see that includes the UP. There could be an isolated thunder shower up there this Sunday, but not in lower Michigan. We will stay dry. And then we move ahead to Monday, Labor Day, and what a great day across lower Michigan. Once again, there's a chance for an isolated thunder shower in the western and central UP, but lower Michigan will stay dry here. It should be a great holiday, great weather for the bridge walk up in Mackinac and the bridge walk in Saugatuck, the lower key bridge walk there in Saugatuck. And you can see there are thunder showers that'll be occurring in the southwest, down in Florida and up through the plain states here, but really a very quiet pattern for most of the United States. Here's a look at low temperatures Saturday morning, and wow, look at some of those. Roscommon, that's the second morning in a row that the thermometer there has registered a below freezing temperature, 31. Atlanta, that's Atlanta, Michigan, and not Atlanta, Georgia, it was 32. Baldwin and Cooper Township, there's a thermometer that's in Cooper Township that tends to get low readings on a calm, clear night. Paw Paw there at 36, Ludington and Manistee at 37. Many of these areas saw temperature rises of 30 to 35 degrees. In fact, Grand Rapids missed the record low by just 1 degree. Record low for the date was 43. We were 44 and warmed up to 74 in the afternoon. So that was quite a jump there. And we'll look at high temperatures from Saturday and show you again. There's the 74 in Grand Rapids. Mount Pleasant was the warmest spot in the area at 76. Kalamazoo at 73, Battle Creek 71, a little bit of a difference there between Grand Rapids and Battle Creek. And at the lakeshore, you find the Muskegon Pier there at just 66 degrees, the high temperature. By the way, that's a picture from the South Haven Channel, and you can see there were a lot of boats out there, people walking along. Water's been cold, so not a lot of people in the water, a few, but not many. All right, now we'll go on to the next one here and show you the lakeshore forecast that should read for Sunday. We're only going to see waves of around 6 inches or so out on Lake Michigan. A very calm day. The boats will be making more waves than the wind will. And you can see how cold the water temperature is. Mears, Pentwater up there, 52 degrees is all. Grand Haven just 56. Holland did a little better at 66. And our inland lakes are warmer. We found that the inland lakes, right near the surface, the water temperatures were about 70 in the morning and up to about 75 in the afternoon. When I checked, Reed's Lake was at 74. And those are boats in the Muskegon Channel here Saturday afternoon, and there were a lot of them. Busy day, a lot of people going in and out enjoying the day. And we'll take a look at for the Saturday summary here. Sunrise 7:06, sunset 8:18. We're down to 13 hours and 12 minutes of daylight. Average high and low still hanging in there at 79 and 59. Record high temperature 97 in 1953. That was a warm summer. And 43 was the low in 1915 and 1967. 67, we got the big blizzard on the 26th of January that year. And take a look at the farmers market from Holland. There are a number of farmers markets out there. We mentioned that earlier, and you can see there's a lot of people there. It's been a pretty good year. The vegetable growers like the Vissers report pretty good conditions here for this summer. A lot of good stuff to eat growing in the garden. On we go. Let's thank one of our sponsors. We will be right back.
Need a fast, efficient, and affordable cleaning service? Complete Care Concierge has you covered. Serving all of West Michigan, we offer one-time, daily, weekly, and bi-weekly cleans, plus move in, move out. We also service apartment hallways and laundry rooms. Our work is guaranteed, gift cards are available, and we even clean on weekends. There's no better way to say I love you than giving a tired mom a break from dishes and laundry. Are you a busy professional? Pamper yourself by taking vacuuming and dusting off your plate. Office manager, keep your business looking and feeling its very best. Call 616-264-1397 today for a spotless space and total peace of mind.
And thanks to Complete Care Concierge for being one of our sponsors. Taking a look at the 66-hour rainfall, the rains are in the plains, as you can see, from South Dakota down to Texas, extending westward through New Mexico into Arizona, and down in Florida. Again, another round of showers and thunder showers. They've been on the wet side of late, but they don't mind down there. It cools them off just a bit to get the extra cloud cover and an occasional shower. You can see lower Michigan, not much going on here. We will stay dry over the next 3 days. But there will be an isolated shower, thunder shower crossing the western half of upper Michigan. On we go to the tropical update. Western Atlantic, we just have one yellow hatched area. Yellow hatched area means that there's only about a 20 or 30% chance of a system developing there. And that's the only system. I think the odds favor that the next week is going to be hurricane and tropical storm free in the Atlantic. And that's kind of interesting because the peak of the season is September 10. Now, last year, we didn't get much activity before the peak, and we had quite a bit of hurricane activity, including Helene and Milton. That occurred after the middle of September, so we'll see if that happens again this year, but it's all is quiet in the Atlantic sector. Where there is some activity is in the eastern Pacific Ocean, and in the eastern Pacific Ocean, there's actually a couple of places that we are monitoring. The map shows 2 red X's, one a little bit farther out and one a little closer to shore that we'll have to keep an eye on. The next system will be named Kiko, and then after that we'll have Lorena. So it looks like those 2 storms will be forming in the Pacific. And then farther west in the Western Pacific, which is the most active basin, usually there's nothing going on. There is one tropical depression that's called Nongfa, I think it is. It's hard to read there from where I am. That is moving into Vietnam and Laos, but it's only got 20 to 30 mile an hour winds, so they're not anticipating any damage from that, just maybe a little local flooding, and that would be about it. Okay, let's take a look at back to the local weather here. Our headlines: dry today through Tuesday, 3 dry days in a row. If you're a farmer, you like 3 dry days in a row so you can cut hay. And that hasn't been hard to find. We get some years where that's pretty difficult to see in a rainy pattern, but not so this year. We will continue to see mostly sunny skies for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Near average high temperatures in the upper 70s to around 80. And again, our next rain comes Wednesday p.m. That would be afternoon or even into the early nighttime. Wednesday morning may turn out to be dry. So you can make your plans accordingly, but keep in mind that by late Wednesday, we'll probably see some rain moving in. Taking a look at some of the temperatures across the area. First for today, a little bit warmer than yesterday. We've got 78 out, mostly sunny skies, low temperature in the morning, 47. So that's a 31-degree climb. Humidity falls to a low of 35% in the afternoon. That's pretty low. And look at how light the wind is going to be. We're going to see nearly calm winds during the day today. Even at the lakeshore, the wind should be only around 5 miles an hour a good portion of the day. And taking a look at the next several days, this is Sunday, high temperatures across lower Michigan and eastern Wisconsin, Chicago area, there at 77. We'll see temperatures in the 70s pretty much everywhere. It's hard to find one that isn't in the 70s. And if you look on the right, you can see the temperatures should be in the low 70s across most of upper Michigan as well. And then we move ahead to Monday, Bridgewalk Day up in the UP, where they're forecasting high temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. For the Bridgewalk itself, temperatures will likely be in the 60s in the morning, but all in all, a very nice day. and you'll be able to really enjoy the day if you're outside. Temperatures up close to 80 degrees in the afternoon, and just a touch cooler near the lake, or the South Haven city area there should see a high temperature of around 73. Well, then a 5-day forecast looks like this: mostly sunny, mostly sunny, mostly sunny. And then the chance of rain I've got at 70% on Wednesday. That would be late Wednesday. Again, if you're planning something for Wednesday morning, it may still yet be dry. And then about a 60% chance for a scattering of showers, not an all-day rain, but scattered mainly light showers here on Thursday as the cool air settles in. And look at the temperatures. We go 78, 80, 81, and then we're still in the warm air Wednesday, but the cloud cover and rain should hold our temperatures in the 70s. And look at Thursday, just 62 degrees in the afternoon. So next week, the second half of the week looks pretty cool and damp here. I'll probably see some showers on Friday as well, though they'll be pretty widely scattered. And the 8 to 14 day outlook is in. We've gone through a string of days when the high temperatures were forecast to be below average in the long range. We're back to near average now. So if over that period, 7th through the 13th, it should be cool to start the period, with temperatures getting back close to average, which would be mid-70s here during the second half. Stays warm down in Florida. We haven't been able to get cold fronts down into southern Florida this summer, so they've had a warm summer. And the Pacific Northwest looks fairly warm as well. In terms of rainfall, we're in the near normal category now. It's always curious to look at the above down in Florida. I think this is mostly just what we call synoptic showers, scattered showers and thunderstorms in the heat of the day. But whenever you see that darker green toward Florida, you got to be thinking, you got to be careful that you're not seeing a hurricane forming down there. But again, nothing shaping up here for the first about 8-10 days in the Atlantic. So all in all, a great forecast. Get outside and enjoy. August 31, 1920, the first live news radio broadcast in the United States occurred on WWJ in Detroit. That's 950 on the radio dial. On 8MK, which is now WWJ, it was reading local election results. The station had only gone on the air August 20th, so probably not a big audience, but certainly a sign of things to come. In Grand Rapids, of course, we have many radio stations and formats to choose from. I mean, back then you just had the one, but you can hear Storm Teammates forecasts on Wood, AM and FM, on WCSG, and several other radio stations as well. Okay, on we go to August 31, 2025 at the Grand Rapids Public Museum. We have a shark exhibit, life-size models, hands-on displays, and media presentations. This is open now through August 31st. Majestic, powerful, diverse. Get a new perspective on sharks, and it's safe. It's safe. Don't worry. I went swimming once in Florida. An interesting story, and I saw a fin coming toward me, and I, of course, panicked, went running out of the water, and everybody, of course, on the beach was laughing at me and said, "You must be from somewhere where they don't have sharks." A shark has a pointed fin. A dolphin has a rounded fin. And so it's pretty easy to tell. And those were just the dolphins that come in quite a bit. And we were on Sanibel Island at the time. And so I gave the locals a bit of a laugh as I, in panic, ran from the water. But they said if you hold really still, the sharks, or not the sharks, but the dolphins will come real close to you there. Kind of interesting. Okay, on we go. See what else we got. Send off summer on the SS Milwaukee Clipper. 6 to 10 p.m., the SS Milwaukee Clipper used to be a Great Lakes passenger ferry. Yes, it did. Now they have tours and special events. The ship was commissioned in 1904, which is before the Titanic. I have been aboard the ship. It is fantastic, and it's certainly worth your time to take a tour and find out what life was like on Lake Michigan and on the sea back in the early 1900s, 100 years ago. Up next, we have America's first bank robbery. I think I read this on the radio once. The Bank of Pennsylvania was robbed. It was during a yellow fever pandemic. Boy, they took a lot of money, $162,821. That's huge. You know, a lot of bank robbers don't get a whole lot of money. And I could tell you really some great stories. One of my great stupid criminal stories. There's a guy that robbed a gas station, and he gave the attendant a $20 bill so the attendant would open the cash register. So the attendant opened the cash register. The guy reached in, grabbed a fistful of dollars, and left the gas station. He left his $20 bill. He collected half a dozen $1 bills. So he lost $14 on that exchange. Pretty interesting. Okay, at first, an innocent man was imprisoned for 3 months. He was a blacksmith who had changed the lock shortly before the robbery. Got to make sure you get the right guy. So it doesn't say whether they caught this or not, but you can see $4.2 million today. That was quite a heist. And of course, I forget who it was, but there was somebody that's attributed to saying when he was asked, why do you rob banks? And the guy said, because that's where the money is. And if there was $162,000 laying around in 1798, I mean, wow, that would have been pretty amazing. The Bank of Pennsylvania. Up next, we have, let's see, more on this, but it was, this is the first time I'm seeing these slides, so this is kind of interesting. I'm reacting to them. But it was one of the bank porters and a member of the carpentry team that was working on the bank changing locations. Isn't that interesting? In a dumb criminal move, one of them started making deposits of the stolen money back at the bank. Yeah, not real bright. The falsely imprisoned man eventually won a lawsuit and $12,000 in compensation, and that would have been a whole lot of money in that day. Wow, interesting. Call Sam Bernstein, right? Get your just due. All right, on we go. Take a look at what's next on the list here. And we have August 31, 1997. Princess Diana was killed in a crash in Paris, France. There were 3 people killed in the crash, also her boyfriend and the driver. The bodyguard who survived was the only one wearing a seatbelt. Yeah, seatbelts can make a difference. And also, I might add, it was rumored that she was running away from the paparazzi that were chasing her to get a picture. So that was a tragedy. And again, that occurred on this date in 1997, 28 years ago. And taking a look at this, we have a beautiful picture. This comes to us from somewhere, I believe. Where would this be? This is, I believe, from Wyoming, if I'm not mistaken. And you can see a couple of little lakes there. Wyoming, an interesting state. I believe it's the least populated state in the United States, if I'm not mistaken. But don't quote me on that. I'd have to look that up. And up next on the list, I believe we have a picture from one of the, let's see, there it is, from Matt. And again, a beautiful picture. I love these pictures that are close to sunset where you get such a variation of color. My wife is somewhat of an artist, and she knows a lot about color. It's fun to walk around Art Prize with her because she can really give me some insight as to what the artist might have been thinking. But you can see here the breaks in the clouds, thin spots, and the sun hitting the clouds at different angles, producing the darker grays and the brighter white colors there in the upper right. Interesting picture. Thank you, Matt, for that. And up next, we have a little bit about White Lake. White Lake is, that was one of the few times I was out in a sailboat. It was on White Lake, Muskegon County, near Montague and White River Township, named for the white clay that formed along the river banks. Labor Day Community Walk, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. You can walk from Whitehall to Montague, and they have the giant weather vane there. In fact, I have a picture of me somewhere with that giant weather vane. There's the weather vane Inn right there. And they've done a lot to clean up White Lake. There used to be some chemical issues there, and I think that's all, for the most part, taken care of now. Labor Day Community Walk, again, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And there are other White Lakes in Michigan. Yeah, that's true. In fact, I remember one time I went through a whole long list of colors on the Labor Day telethon with Jerry Lewis. And I said, I want to hear somebody from White Lake, from Red Lake, from Black Lake, from Blue Lake. And there are several blue lakes in the area. Clear Lake. Okay, all kinds of different colors here. Interesting. And up next, what do we have from Sally? Ooh, that's a pretty picture. I believe that's the moon after sunset because the moon would be to the left of where the sun is setting. Tonight, the moon is a half moon. We're at about 50%, and it's working its way toward full, so that means it's waxing. And totally clear sky there. You can see that's the big red lighthouse in the distance there. And even from as far away as I'm looking at the monitor here, you can see that the flag is out, showing that there's a decent wind there. And just a beautiful evening. The water's been kind of cool there, but I imagine the water in the channel is warmer than that's coming out of Lake Makatawa. On we go from John Scully. A beautiful picture showing the clouds over the land and the clear skies over the lake there. Waves look like they're down around a foot or so, and you can see the breakwall, the pier there in the distance. So interesting picture there. Thank you, John, for that. Do we have any more pictures? Yes, from John Doherty. And this is an interesting picture. You got the sun shining through what looks like some cirrocumulus clouds or altocumulus, depending on what level they are at. The blue sky in the distance. Beautiful picture. Once again, those clouds probably about 2 miles up above the ground, and up there the temperature would be on the chilly side. You would definitely need your jacket if you were up there in that area. So some neat pictures there to pass along. You can send us your pictures at billsteffen.com, and we've got the YouTube channel there at billsteffen616. It is free. You can be a subscriber to that. Hey, I hope you have yourself a fantastic day today and a great Labor Day. Get out and enjoy what should be some beautiful weather, and hope to see you again here tomorrow. Good night.